The Star Ferry Company was created in 1888 and was originally known as the Kowloon Ferry Company. In 1898, the company changed its name to the Star Ferry Company. The company was founded by an Indian businessman called Dorabji Naroji Mithaiwala. But 10 years after he created it, the company was bought by Sir Catchick Paul Chater, a British businessman. Since 1888, the Star Ferry Company has been helping the citizens of Hong Kong cross from one side of the Victoria Harbour to the other side in just 10 minutes. Not only is the Star Ferry a quick way to cross the Victoria Harbour, it's also a great way to see the famous Hong Kong skyline. While on the ferry and in TST, you have the most amazing view of the skyline. In 2009, the Star Ferry was voted first in the top 10 most exciting ferry rides by the Society of American Travel Writers. Each ferry in the company has the word star in it, for example, Star Ferry, Evening Star, and Morning Star. The Star Ferry Company currently has a fleet of 12 ferries that travel through two different routes. One route is the TST to Central, and the other route is the TST to Wan Chai. Every day, approximately 70,000 people ride the Star Ferry. This adds up to 26 million passengers per year, despite the fact that you can cross over the harbour in tunnels and on railways. The Star Ferry consistently seems to be the cheaper and faster choice for most people. Before the Star Ferry Company was opened, people used to travel across the Victoria Harbour in sampans. A sampan is a small boat that requires oars to be used. Because sampans took too long to cross the harbour and couldn't hold enough people at once, people were always trying to think of a more efficient way to cross the harbour. In 1870, Grant Smith bought a twin-screw wooden-hulled boat from England and at random intervals would run it across the harbour, so people could travel to the other side. A twin-screw wooden-hulled boat is a boat that has two propellers on different shafts that rotate in different directions. These boats were better because they were able to hold more people and travel faster. 3 years later, in 1873, steam ferries helped people travel from one side of the harbour to the other. This plan was shortly discontinued because of the request of the British Council. Therefore, since 1888, the Star Ferry has always been the most popular and practical way to cross the Victoria Harbour. During the first 10 years of the company opening, business was very successful. Mithaiwala was able to buy 4 ferries that were able to hold 100 passengers. 147 journeys were made every day by each ship. Therefore, a total of 58,800 people were riding on 4 different ferries every day. During 1933, the Star Ferry Company created the Electric Star. This was the first of its kind, a ferry that traveled using diesel and electricity. During 1941, the Japanese occupation of Hong Kong, the Meridian Star and Golden Star were used to transport war prisoners from Sham Shui Po to Kai Tak Airport. In 1943, the Golden Star was bombed by Americans in Canton River. The Electric Star was bombed in the Victoria Harbour. After the war, all ferries were restored and returned to their usual jobs. After the war, everything with the Star Ferry Company went smoothly until 1966. In 1966, ferries prices increased by 5 cents. Which back then was a 25% in ferry prices. This was a very big turning point in Hong Kong history. The increase in prices caused a 27-year-old student to go on a hunger strike in Edinburgh Place Terminal. When the student was arrested by the police, the 1966 Hong Kong riots began. In 2003, a replica of a ferry used in the 1920s were recreated as a tour boat. The tour boat is specifically used for tours of the Victoria Harbour. The tour boat has its own coffee shop and sunbathing deck. Therefore, tourists can enjoy a cup of tea, the sun, and the skyline of Hong Kong. To conclude, the Star Ferry Company was created in 1888 and for over a century has been helping people cross from one side of the harbour in a quick and cheap manner. It has always been very popular with both locals in Hong Kong and tourists, and always will be.